Okay, we are live on Facebook. It's still pulling up, so I can't see us yet, but we are live. So It is Spotlight Sunday with Crystal Sullivan, and we are going to be talking about design today. So before we get started with that, if you'd like to just take a few minutes and kind of introduce yourself for us and tell us, about your business and why you started your business and all that fun stuff. We want to get to know you first.
Sure. So like you said, my name's Crystal Sullivan. My business is just Crystal Sullivan, your brand designer coach. And I work on, kind of like you, I work on a little bit of everything branding. I work on strategy. I work on design. I work on coaching people, everything, because I love all aspects of it. So I help create unique brands for entrepreneurs so they can attract clients on autopilot. And so that way they're not chasing down every client and their business isn't overwhelming and like trying to pull teeth to find their clients. Like it should be easy and it shouldn't be overwhelming and frustrated. So that's kind of like what I do.
I love it. So why did you get started, or how did you get started doing this?
So I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur. And I thought like, there's no way I can do that. That's not something for me. And then someone reached out to me and I was trying to lose weight and someone was like, hey, I can help you. And I started the journey with them. And then they're like, hey, you want to become a coach? So I started in the MLM field. And like a couple of years in, I was like, oh, I want to be like an entrepreneur, but I just was feeling as if the MLM was just not for me. There was a lot of reasons on why. There were certain ways that they run their business that I wasn't enjoying and things of that nature, but I knew that I wanted to do something. And it took a coach and someone else to say to me, Crystal, why are you not using your talents of designing and marketing to create a business? And I kind of was like, I don't know. I never thought about it that way. And that's how it got started. And so November of last year, I decided to no longer do the MLM and start my own business and do this. So I've only been doing this as an entrepreneur since November. I don't know how many months it is now. But
almost a year.
Almost. It's crazy. But I've been designing and that's what I do in my full time. And I've been freelancing as a designer for over 10 years. So I'm not new to any of this kind of thing. So that's how I got started and I'm loving it. And I love doing this so much more than I was loving the MLM.
Yeah.
And I think it's because as an entrepreneur, like you can really choose to run your business any way you like, where I wasn't feeling that before.
Yes. No rules. There are no rules. It's awesome.
Yes.
Okay. So I always do this, like seriously, if you go back and watch the archives, I do this every effing time. I forget to pull it up. Mute this so we're not. Okay. And now we're playing in the background. Again, I do this every time. Okay. Muted that. I think we're good now. Sorry. Okay. So next question I ask everybody is your definition of branding. So I'm really excited to hear yours, being another brand strategist here. So what do you got?
So, branding, it's so funny because I've been really like trying to understand what everyone else sees as branding. And it always comes down to like your logo, your website, and no one understands that it's like, it starts way before that. And so many people are like, oh, I don't need to hire a brand strategist, or I don't need to hire anybody for branding because I'm just starting my business and this and this. But like your branding, if you don't know who your target audience is, you don't know who your client is, you don't know what they need or how they need help or any of that kind of stuff, then how do you expect to build your brand? So that's why I say brand is everything from all of that I just mentioned, all the way through to your website, your marketing, what you say every single day, like everything you're about. Yes. And I think like people like you and myself, like we are trying so hard to change the fact that everybody just looks at branding as logo and design, because it's so much more than that. And
Yes.
So,
that's like word for word my exact answer too, almost. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, cool. So let's dive in then. What are we going to learn about today about choosing a designer?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about choosing a designer because the first question I get outside of like 9 times out of 10 people come to me and they're like, I need a logo. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, do you really need a logo? Yeah, are you ready for that yet? So, but a lot of times when they are ready for a logo, the next question is, and they stumble on is like, how do I choose the right designer? There's so many of us out there, but yet we're so different in so many ways. There's tons of different like type of, it's just like, niches, just like with anything else. And, a lot of us have a particular style. Myself, I don't have like a style. I really adjust my style based on the client's needs, but so many designers have style. So let's go through and just go through, I think I have like 10 steps or 10 things you should look for in a designer. So
okay, I'm going to type them in as we go too.
Okay, cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So first thing first is get clear about what you need help with. So many times people come to me and they're like, well, I need this and I need that and I need this, but then really they're not really sure if that's the process of what they need or what's the pieces they need or what they're looking for. So it doesn't have to be finalized, but just try to have a really rough idea so you can communicate that with your designer and make sure that they're willing to help you with everything that it is that you need.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is ask your community for referrals. When it comes to something like this, you really want to work with someone that someone else has worked with or someone else is kind of familiar with, so you understand their process. I think that it's a little more than just like buying a course or something off someone. I really feel like you need to have a little bit more background on the people that you're working with when it comes to a designer. So ask your community for referrals, and when you ask in a Facebook group, you're going to get like hundreds and hundreds of comments. And it's kind of hard to weed through them, but certain people will stand out by the process that they kind of get in contact with you. And sometimes I like to go off of like, certain people tag me and I think that's better than me tagging myself.
Yeah.
That, I'm credible and people are interested in working with me and things like that. So definitely ask your community for referrals. And then after you get the referrals, do your own research. Don't just go off of the referral and think that, okay, this person said it, so I'm going to work with this person. Like you really want to make sure that you kind of have a background on when you're talking with them and what they do and what it is that you're interested in doing. So do your own research as well. And then number 4 is pay attention to the details and the style in which they work, and it could be like a particular style on, a look and feel that you're going for. It could be a style on as how they work or how they walk their client through the whole entire process. Because some designers are not very one-on-one. And then someone like myself, I'm very one-on-one, like I'm constantly talking with them, setting up calls and things like that. So it really depends on what you're looking for and what kind of process you want to be kind of going through.
Agree, 100%.
Because we all do things differently. And then do some digging. Outside of the referrals, dig around and see what other designers are doing and make sure that the referrals that you were getting are exactly what you need to. So use that as a starting point, but also dig around and do a little more research outside of those people. And then the other thing was find someone that you jive with. And the reason on why I personally think that this is so important is you need to make sure that the designer is going to understand what the hell, sorry, I don't know if you can.
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Like, what the hell you are trying to accomplish. If you cannot connect with your designer and you guys are not meshing, then your design's going to be a hot mess. Nothing's ever going to get solved and you will not be happy with the results. So that's why I recommend highly that you make sure that you jive with the designer. And I think that goes along with like coaches as well. But I think it's super important when it comes to this because they need to understand your vision and they need to understand how to take your vision and make something out of it. And that's super important.
Yes. Well, and you need to have that open relationship too, where you're not scared to bring things up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I don't really like this. You need to like say that and be able to have that communication.
Yeah, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to give the feedback, which means
Right.
you're never going to get to the result that you're looking for. So yeah. And then keep your eye on the prize, not the price. So many people go instantly to the price and they're like, oh, I don't want to pay that much. And they completely neglect to think about anything else or look into it. And I hate to say it, but when it comes to designers and it comes to this type of work, you get what you pay for.
Yes.
Honestly. And like, there's a reason on why certain designers charge more, and you're going to get exactly what you pay for. If you are finding a designer and you go on Fiverr or whatever, and you are like, oh, $10 for a logo. Well, guess what? There's a million other people out there with that damn logo. And if that's what you want, that's what you want. If you want your business to stand out, I highly suggest you pay the money. So you really need to think about your goals when it comes to hiring a designer.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah. And then the next thing is like setting up a quick call. And, you know, you can just book a designer based on for what you see. But like I said, you want to make sure you jive with them and make sure they understand your needs. So I really suggest setting up a quick call, even if it's like 20 minutes, like whatever, just so you guys can flush out all the details and make sure you're on the same page with everything.
Yes.
I do have a couple questions that you can ask your designer if you do get on the call with them. And that's, you know, making sure that you both are sure of like what the timeline is, because certain designers are booked out 3 months in advance, 2 months in advance, whatever it is. So you need to make sure that they're going to be able to finish your project in the timeline you're looking for. So that's like one question. And then the other question is, a lot of us, we work with other designers or we have a team of people or anything like that. So sometimes some people are concerned that they're going to have to talk to multiple people or have to kind of repeat the same things over and over. So you want to ask, like, am I going to be solely working with you? Are we going to be working with a copywriter or a developer or anything like that? Because, you know, everyone has a different process. You need to make sure that you're going to be comfortable with that process. And then, are they going to offer support after you're done the project?
Okay.
So, you know, you finish your brand, you finish your website, you do all that jazz, and then you're like, oh, well, now I need a lead magnet design, or I have a webinar that I want to promote. You know, is that designer going to help you, or are you going to have to find another designer to help you with that type of thing? Or, you know, do they only offer it if you're going to be working with them monthly, or will they do one-off projects for you later? So I really suggest asking that, so that way you know what to expect, because sometimes taking your project and having to give it to a new designer can be a bit challenging. So you want to kind of think through that process as well. And then, what do I need to get started? That's going to be like one of the biggest questions that you're going to want to know, because you're going to need to know, do you need to have your website copy written? Do you need to have photography ready? Do you need anything else that they're going to need for the project? So that's like the other thing is, because a lot of people think like, I hire a designer and then they just do it all and I don't need to do any homework or I don't need to do anything, when that's not the case. So find out what you need to do beforehand.
Love it.
There.
Love it.
And then what else do I have? Oh, see if they have payment plans or what the payment schedule is, because a lot of designers do things differently. Some are 30% up front, 30% in the middle, 30% at the end. Some do payment plans, like it's all over the place, and some won't work with you unless you're completely upfront and give everything in the very beginning. So just check about with that. And then the last tip I have for how to choose the right designer is trust the process. And just like try to, you know, share your vision on what you are looking for, but then also allow the designer to kind of do what they're good at and be open to what they're going to give you and to push you out of your comfort zone and to push you to create something unique that you may not have envisioned or you didn't think of, because that's what their job is and that's what they really want to do for your business. So
yes. I love that one. It's kind of like the difference between a service provider and an expert. You know, like you talked about Fiverr earlier, like you can go to them and say, here, do this, and they'll slap it together for you. Or if, you know, going to a real designer or a brand strategist, you know, it's like you're going to them because you trust their opinion and you want help. So take the freaking help.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so we did get a couple questions. I'm going to scroll back through here and start at the beginning. We had Tina and Tammy both say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so Tina says, what about if you want a designer to help you, but you want to have your platform on one they aren't familiar with? Okay, so like if you want to use Squarespace and they use WordPress or something. So
yeah,
what would you recommend?
I would say keep researching and find someone else that you connect with, because
that's what I would say too.
It'll be a struggle if you really are. I mean, I guess it depends, because if you think I have to have a WordPress site, maybe talk to that designer. Maybe they would say, why do you think you need that platform? And maybe they could offer up suggestions or something like that. But if you really feel like that's the platform you want to work on, or it's the only platform you're personally comfortable with, then I would continue looking for designers that are more versatile.
Yeah, I love it. So what do you use?
I currently use Showit and Squarespace, but I'm starting to dive into WordPress and a couple others as well.
Cool. I like Squarespace. I really do. I use WordPress because I have like designer OCD and I want like every single pixel. I want to control everything. So Squarespace is awesome if you're going to do it yourself. But I love WordPress.
That's why that's why my website's designed in Showit, because it's drag and drop and I didn't need to worry about coding. I made that thing look however it is I wanted to look.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Okay, so another question. Do designers even care about what the client's choice and platform is? If they're a good designer, they do. Yes. If they don't care, you probably need to find a different one.
Yes, exactly. And excuse me, sorry, my allergies.
You're good. I'm like coughing over here too.
Yeah, but so I personally feel like different platforms are for different needs. And like for me, I wanted Show because I really wanted something that I could showcase that was truly unique and something that I could really be flexible with the style, because that's my job and that's what I really wanted to showcase. So, you know, but then for like a coach, I think Show it's a little too much, and I don't feel like they need all the bells and whistles that it provides, and it's a little more costly. So I feel like certain platforms are for certain different niches and you know, fields and things like that. So yes, the designer definitely should care.
You should care. Yes, that's so true. And you know, like if you're not, like you said, a coach or somebody where you're not going to have like a huge extensive blog or something, Squarespace is awesome. If you want like elaborate blogging, WordPress, like it matters.
Yes.
Okay, so Builderall is a platform I want to use. It's a platform that does it all. Have either of you heard of Builderall? I haven't heard of that one. Have you?
I have not heard of that one.
I haven't. Yeah, so I would just you know, kind of go back through these steps that Crystal's been talking about and make sure that it's gonna hit all of those needs. Like maybe make a list of every single thing you need it to do. But I haven't heard of that one. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I have not either. I wonder what type of platform it is. And also watch with some of the newer ones, because sometimes they can be a little flaky and might have
some of them don't last very long.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. And you don't want to like design it and then have to turn around and redo it 2 months later because they didn't like take off the way they were supposed to or something like that. So think about that when you're using a new platform.
Yes, I love it.
Oh my God. I hope you guys cannot hear my son very loud laughing.
That's okay. It's real life around here. Cool. Okay, so that is our steps. If anyone has any last minute questions, now is the time. And if you're watching the replay and you have questions later, just type them in and you can tag us and make sure we see it. If we don't answer you, it's because we didn't see it. So make sure and tag us. But this has been so fun. I love having other people in my same niche. Come on, like, and community over competition is like one of the things I talk about all the time. So I'm like, I love it when like I get to like practice what I preach, you know? Like, I love it. It's so much fun.
Exactly. And like I said, like, you know, someone finding who they can connect with is so important for this. So that's why I think, like, even if I can't help someone, but I can supply information and then maybe they could work with you or someone else, like, that's like the best. And honestly, as designers, sometimes we get booked up and we don't have time when they need the time. So like, I would always recommend other designers. So yes, community over competition for sure.
I love it. Cool. So Tina did say Builderall does everything, well known in Europe. Okay. So
wonder what she means when she says they do everything.
I don't know. It's in all caps too. So she must mean like everything. So I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah. Like everything, like email. I wonder what that means.
I'm thinking like Infusionsoft with website stuff is what is popping into my head. So I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, because I know there's like Kajabi that does like everything in one, but great when it comes to web design and stuff. So
yeah, it's very limited. So cool. Yeah. Okay, well, if that's all the questions we have live, we will hope to see some more questions on the replay. And thank you so much for coming in, Crystal. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right, everyone have a great Sunday, and we will see you soon.
Bye. Bye.